Good evening, everyone. This is Julie White, and I have Jere White with me here tonight, my husband. And just want to welcome everyone. Want to welcome all the new distributors as well. And we're excited to share some information with you tonight about our new Protandim NAD Synergizer. So we're going to begin with my husband, Jere White. And he's awesome. He's been a science chemistry teacher for 30 plus years. He's retired now, but he has science in his blood. And as soon as we found out that we were getting an NAD Synergizer, he started delving into the research. So we're going to share just a little bit with you tonight. So go ahead, Jere.
Okay. The first slide there, can everyone see it? Protandim NAD Synergizer.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Now, an NAD Synergizer, NAD stands for nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, and I knew about that compound for a long time because NAD is important in the recycling of ADP and ATP in your mitochondria in the Krebs cycle. So it's a real important compound for producing energy, but it's only in recent years that they've figured out the relationship between NAD and these compounds called sirtuins. And this compound is able to increase sirtuin activity by 100% in 24 hours. What you see in front of you are three theories of aging. There's probably 8 or 9 currently that they're looking at. There's probably more. So the antioxidant theory of aging is addressed by LifeVantage through the NRF2 pathway. The NRF1 pathway is addressing the mitochondrial dysfunction theory of aging, where your mitochondria begin to slow up and not function properly, and you get reduced numbers of them. So that's being addressed with the NRF1 pathway through NRF1 Protandim. And now this new product is addressing the sirtuin theory of aging. And what they found out is that sirtuin activity is dependent upon NAD levels in your system. And there you see what NAD stands for, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. And it's it even says there it's most notably known in the breakdown of food that we eat for energy. That's in the mitochondria where that's getting used in that case. NAD exists in 2 forms: the NAD plus, which is the ionic form, and the NADH, which has a hydrogen atom attached to it. And it's this ratio that's important. And if you can increase your NAD, it's shown to activate several key enzymes, one of which increases a class of proteins called sirtuins. Now, there's a series of genes called SIRT1 through SIRT7. There's 7 of them. They're called your longevity genes. And the reason they're called longevity genes is they've been shown if you can increase your sirtuin activity, you can extend life, and they've known this for a long period of time now. In mice, they've done it by 30 to 40%. Now, if you translate that to humans, that would be like, well, the average lifespan is 78.5 years right now for both male and female combined. And so that'd be an extra 23.5 years of life if you translate it over to humans. Go ahead and go to the next one. Unfortunately, like everything else, sirtuin activity declines as we age up to 60%. And what I've been, I just was looking at a recent definition of aging, and it said it's the gradual deterioration of cells and tissues so that there is a functional decline. And as that function declines, our health declines, and we end up getting diseases. The average lifespan, I said, was 78 and a half, and I saw a recent paper where they had something listed called the health span, and the average health span in the United States is 68.5. So the difference is 10 years there, and those 10 years are often lost as you go through life, addressing one disease after another, after another, after another. And what happens is, what they think is going on here is if you can bump up your sirtuin activity and activate these longevity genes, what they do, among other things, is prevent diseases. I'm currently reading a book. It's by a guy named David A. Sinclair. He's a Harvard geneticist, and he was involved in the discovery of the relationship between NAD, sirtuins, and longevity, and that relationship was discovered in 1999 with him and another guy from MIT. And so I have this book, and this book hasn't even been out 2 months. I just happened to get a copy a couple weeks ago, and I was reading through it, and I just want to read a little section of it. It says, trading reproduction for repair, sirtuins order our bodies to buckle down in times of stress and protect us against the major diseases of aging: diabetes, heart disease, Alzheimer's, osteoporosis, even cancer. They mute the chronic overactive inflammation that drives such diseases as arteriosclerosis, metabolic disorders, ulcerative colitis, arthritis, and asthma. They prevent cell death and boost mitochondria, the power pack of the cell. They go to battle with muscle wasting, osteoporosis, and macular degeneration. In studies on mice, activating the sirtuins can improve DNA repair, boost memory, increase exercise, endurance, and help the mice stay thin regardless of what they eat. That sounds good. Now, here's the important part of this whole statement: is you read this and you think, this is too good to be true. How can one series of compounds do all this? But this is the important sentence I want you to get here. These are not wild guesses as to their power. Scientists have established all of these in peer-reviewed studies published in journals such as Nature, Cell, and Science. The prevention of these diseases by sirtuin activity has been well established in peer-reviewed journals by studying, and they've been studying these extensively for the last 20 years in yeast, in roundworms, and in mice. And just recently, clinical trials are going on with humans. So these longevity genes, if you can activate them, prevent diseases. So if you can prevent diseases, those last 10 years of your life don't have to be spent fighting off one disease just to get another disease, to get another disease. You can actually increase the quality of your life in those last 10 years, which is what I'm hoping to do through taking this product. And let's go to the next slide. They've known for years, since I think the 1930s, that in mice you could increase the lifespan of the mice by restricting their calories. You basically starve them, and they knew that in the 1930s, but they didn't know why. It wasn't until 1999 that they figured out it was actually the sirtuin activation. But so if you reduce your calories by 40 to 60%, okay, you're not eating much. Okay, that's meager rations there. And if you do that, though, you can boost your sirtuin activity by 94%. The other way you can boost sirtuin activity is by intense exercise. What they think is going on is that when you put a stress on your body by not eating, your body says, hey, I'm starving here, and it kicks into a survival mode, and these longevity genes go into action and to prevent disease and other negative functioning of the cells. So if you can if you don't like intense exercise and you don't like starving yourself, there's another way you can boost your sirtuin activity. And there it is. You can actually take this compound that LifeVantage has come out with, this NAD activator, and you can boost sirtuin activity by 100%, which I found was, when I saw that statistic, I just couldn't believe it. It was absolutely incredible. I knew there were other NAD synergizers. There are actually NAD boosters out there. Most of them are just precursors of NAD. And those things, you can, with those, you take them, you can boost your NAD and sirtuin activity by 2%. Well, that's pretty insignificant. But here, Protandim has a compound that actually activates the biochemical pathway, and you can bump your sirtuin activity 100%. So this is significant. This whole thing with sirtuin activity and longevity genes and this sirtuin theory of aging is a big deal in the biological sciences right now. I think LifeVantage, of all the trees out there to bark up, this is one of the key ones to be barking up, and they hit the right compound in the right pathway here to really make a difference in people's lives. So, okay, that's all I have for right now.
Okay, I have one question, Jerry. Do you have any idea, like, if you go to PubMed.gov, is there a lot of research on NAD and sirtuins?
Yeah, there's all kinds of research out there. I mean, this is a big issue, a big deal out there, and you know, it's been going on for about 20 years now since they first discovered the relationship in 1999.
Great. Okay, at this time, I would like to introduce Lena Misener. She's the wife of David Misener, who is a Pro 6 in our LifeVantage family, and Lena is a Pro 4. And these guys, we're just honored to have them on our team. And Lena has a great background. She has a master's in microbiology, and she also specializes in molecular genetics. So she is going to share the rest of this NAD presentation with us. Lena, are you there? Anybody see Lena?
Is she muted?
Unmute myself. There, I think I'm unmuted now.
There you
Yes, you are. Thank you,
Okay.
Lena.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Jerry, for having me on tonight. I am so happy to be sharing. We are just so excited about this new product that is really creating a wonderful, tri-synergy. These are really not totally unrelated products. I mean, these really are all synergizers that are nutrigenomics. They are nutritional aptogenic herbs that are going to be activating our bodies to upregulate genetic expression so that we can increase health at the cellular level first. Because if you don't have healthy cells, you're not going to have healthy tissues or healthy organs. And therefore, if you don't have healthy organs, you're going to have system breakdowns, and we get degenerative diseases of aging. And so we're so excited to add this to our lineup. And is the slide shown on this? Is that what we're seeing right now?
Yes.
Is the screen? Okay, so on the screen, what we're seeing are the 4 plant-based ingredients of the NAD Synergizer. And these are what this does in conjunction together is it's going to activate key enzymes in our body that are going to cause an upregulation of the production of the sirtuin proteins. And so the first ingredient that we'll talk about is the wasabi. And I don't know about you, but I love my sushi, and wasabi goes on my sushi, and it has good health benefits, but man, I love how it tastes too. But this is where we're using the wasabi rhizome powder. So we're looking at the rhizome roots, the stems and leaves, but we're looking at these. They're very rich in isothiocyanates, and these have anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, antiplatelet potentially anti-cancer properties in a number of areas of research, but they are also potent activators of many types of genetic and metabolic processes. They are in that NRF2 activation pathway, very, very potent Ayurvedic herb. And so we love that. We love that we have that. Another one that we have is the theacrine. And the theacrine is sometimes called Chinese coffee. And the Camellia kucha is structurally similar to caffeine, but we don't have the overstimulation that a lot of people have with coffee, where they get the jitters or they just feel like, oh my gosh, I can't get, can't settle down. And there's also not the habit forming of caffeine, where people feel the addiction and they end up with the headache if they don't have their caffeine. So this theacrine gives you the benefits of coffee, because there are many metabolic benefits to coffee, increasing alertness and increasing activation of genes that are healthy for us, that we can have from this type of similar structural theacrine that's similar structural to caffeine. But what it's doing in our body is that it's stimulating dopamine production. And this dopamine production is going to make you feel happier and brighter and more alert. And so we love that this has theacrine in it. The olive leaf extract is, we all know that olive oil is a very good to have as a part of our diet, but we have this in there as this leaf extract. And so it's like we're getting a mega dose of olive oil by having this very concentrated leaf extract that's standardized to hydroxytyrosol. And so this is going to be supporting with olive oil. This is why they recommend the Mediterranean diet. One of the main reasons is because of the olive oil component in the Mediterranean diet. And so it's going to be supporting a healthy inflammatory response, which is normal. You need to have some inflammation in your body, not an over-inflammation so that we have disease processes starting, but a normal inflammatory response so that your body can clean itself up. It's going to promote a healthy lipid profile, because these fats are necessary to your healthy cell membranes. It's going to be supporting the gene expression, because these oils, there are certain vitamins and precursors that have to be carried by oils and oil products. We also are going to be supporting the autophagy. This is going to be where the cells have the cleanup crew come in and clean up the debris after the healthy cells are working and acting. It's like the party. You got to have something to clean up the party, and then also the antioxidant activity in that. Your cuprous niacin, this is it's the foundation of what you've got to have for your NAD synergizer. For that NAD ion to be in place, you've got to have niacin, which is vitamin B. And to have it coupled with the cuprous, with the copper-1 molecule, it adds another cofactor to many of our genetic pathways. And so to have this in cuprous niacin with all the other three of these, we have got a powerful product. And I think I'm ready for that next slide. Okay, so overall, what we're going to see as benefits of our NAD Synergizer is improved mental focus and concentration. We're going to see more positive mood and motivation. We're boosting our mental and physical energy. We're supporting healthy inflammation responses. We're maintaining cholesterol levels in the healthy range, and we're supporting healthy vascular system. And so this is really a broad range of health, where we're seeing brain health, we're seeing vascular health, we're seeing support for our mood and our focus through our day. We just are really excited about this new Synergizer and the way that it's working with the other two. So let's go to this other slide, this last one. Okay, so here we have a slide which is demonstrating what we have with a clinical study that will soon be coming out, where they have shown these increases, where we have the three components, the NAD Synergizer, the NRF2 Synergizer, which is our flagship product, and the NRF1 Synergizer. So just to recap, your NAD Synergizer, that is supporting sirtuins, so that these proteins that are protecting your genome. And so this is where we're coming at the theory of sirtuin proteins being involved in aging, where the lack of them causes aging in the cells. With the NRF1, we are talking about healthy mitochondrial energy. And so this is where we're boosting the mitochondrial health and longevity, and being able to support the mitochondrial function within the cells. So again, it's cellular function, it's about energy, it's about supporting what's happening in our cells. And then the first one is our flagship product, the Protandim NRF2, and this is where we're looking at the oxidative stress theory of aging. And this is where we're seeing our antioxidants, our natural antioxidants, not the ones that we can eat, or that we have them as a 1-to-1 ratio, which are those are the ones like vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E, where we're just kind of trying to deal with it. And those are important. We need those phytochemicals, but they are really secondary antioxidants. The primary antioxidants need to be activated by our own body. These are the superoxide dismutase, the SODs, the catalase, and the glutathione antioxidants, and those are upregulated by the NRF2 protandim. So when we have the NRF2 genes upregulated, by themselves, we have the NQ01, which by themselves, these are antioxidant and detoxification genes, 40% increase in 30 days. We've all heard that. But when we have all three of these together, the NAD, the NRF2, the NRF1, we see it up to 78%. We're seeing an 83% increase. And then when we have the NOx1, where we have that healthy inflammatory response, where we see the reduction of the the reactive proteins, we're seeing like a 51% decrease in that, where we're now seeing that gene activated. We're seeing that upregulated by 1,563%. That's incredible. I mean, that's just, there's not going to be anything unhealthy. It's just over what we don't even, I mean, it's more than we need. It's amazing. And so then with our NRF1 genes, we see in this slide that we've got the NRF1 protein that's activated. We're seeing an increase of that by 38% when we have all three of these together. So it goes from 65% to 90% production in the body. And then the PGC1 alpha, which regulates mitochondrial biogenesis, which we're seeing the increase of the formation of mitochondria and their support so that they live longer. Where we were seeing it by itself, we see it at 71% increased in biogenesis of mitochondria. With all three of them together, it goes up to 120% increase. That's a 69% increase. It's wonderful. And then the NAD genes. I mean, they are just all over the top when you get all three of these going together. And this is why you want to share with your people why it's important to have all three of these tri-synergizing in your body. Because with the NAMPT, this is the key enzyme that is causing the cycle of the NAD plus to NADH, NAD plus, NADH that you see in the Krebs cycle, and it's recycled through the other systems in the cell. It's so, so important in order for energy production for us. We're seeing this production by itself. NAD is great. We'll see a little increase of 12%. But when we take it with the other two, with NRF2 and NRF1, we see it increase to 128%. That's a 967% increase. That's amazing. That's over the top. And then the last gene I'll talk about is the NMNAT1. This is your central enzyme in your NAD synthesis. This is so important for you to be able to take the precursors like vitamin B3 to turn it into NAD plus, because in order for you to have sirtuins, you have to have an abundance of NAD plus in your cells. So one of the reasons I think we see this really quick turnaround of the sirtuin activity is because they're there. But if our body's making them, but they've got to have the NAD plus in order to be able to do what they need to do in the body to keep us clean, to keep us active, to keep us healthy. And so with this last gene, we're seeing an increase of 1,792%, going from that 12% all the way up to 227% greater when we have all three of these synergizers, Protandim synergizers, together. So let's go to that last slide. Is this the last slide? Oh, here's the last slide. Okay, so here is our product label where they're suggesting that we take 2 capsules a day, not within 6 hours of bedtime, because I guess a lot of people, they just, woohoo, they feel energy and you may not be able to go to sleep. So they're suggesting that you take that not within 6 hours of bedtime. And then they're suggesting Nerf 2 and Nerf 1 at breakfast. I like to take it with my Omega Plus so that I'm getting a little bit of fat with it. I actually am taking the whole set in the morning, and it's been working great for me. I've been feeling great energy. I know that it's working in my body, and we are so excited about these 3 products together.
Thank you, Lena. That was incredible. I'm going to stop the share here. Let's see. Okay. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That was incredible information. So much to learn about the NAD and the sirtuins. It's very fascinating. So with that, Mark and Krista, do you have anything you want to share tonight?
We love NAD.
NAD. NAD. NAD.
We are both taking the ultimate stack. I get up in the morning and I drink, well, actually, I take my probiotic, my fat burn, and my Nerf 1 on an empty stomach with my prebiotic, drinking it. And then I go a little bit, and then I drink my coffee, and I have a little bit of heavy whipping cream in it for some good fat. And then sometimes, depending on breakfast, if Mark cooks breakfast, I usually eat it because he cooks really good breakfast. If I'm up with the kids and I'm like, no, I'm not cooking breakfast, or I've done something that's not, I don't know, like oatmeal this morning, I ate the leftover oatmeal. Steel cut organic oats, but they were yummy. But then I had my NAD with my breakfast. And then I waited until lunchtime to have my Nerf 2. So that's how I'm doing it, and I just feel great. I mean, I am feeling so good. Was just at the doctor recently to have a checkup, and they literally said, we don't even see blood work like this. And then she said, I had just started my NAD, and she took my pulse, and she said, you must have a really great cardiovascular system. I thought, that's a weird thing to say. And she said, are you a runner? And I was like, no, I'm not, but I do have a great cardiovascular system. And of course, then I explained all about it.
Define runner.
We're just thrilled. We're thrilled, and we are hearing such great information from other distributors and customers who are taking everything. But can I just recommend the Ultimate Stack? I'm telling you, it gets all the way to your gut. Does so much to get your gut cleaned up, which is so good for your brain health. And then the Tri Synergizer, these 3 products are offering us so much. These 3 products are offering us so much with detoxification and survival genes. It's amazing. I just can't get over what our company's offered us.
So I had a unique experience when I started NAD. I actually got tired, and it was a similar response I had with Nerf 1 introduction. And so I'm one of those people. And what I found helped me was a separation of the time, as Lena suggested, separating NAD from Nerf 1. And so I bumped my Nerf 1 to much later in the day, and that seems to have resolved that issue. I feel great on NAD, but there's a helpful information document on both the Team Lifetree distributor page on Facebook, and I believe I posted that on not sure if I posted on the Lifetree Health Network page, but I also posted it on Biohacking for Beginners, no, Biohacking Health page, David Misener, David and Lena's page, and Team Brave page. If you can't get that document relocated or downloaded for some reason, hit me up on a private message and I'll make sure you get that. I made sure it was available both PDF form and Word document form. That's just to help people through what may be that detoxification period. Of course, when you're getting a multiple fold increase in the effectiveness of the NRF2 product, which is already likely to generate a detoxification effect, that just makes sense, right? I want to show you this though, because this is fun for people that aren't scientists and people that are scientists. And I want to recommend that you not try to do what Jere and Lena did tonight. We love our biochemists and our doctors, but that doesn't mean you have to learn everything that they know. You can go to PubMed and look up. Here's the cool thing about what's happening with our NAD activation product and sirtuins. I'll share my screen because this was pretty cool when I looked it up. Perhaps you've seen this, perhaps you haven't, but let me show you this. The number of studies on PubMed right now associated with sirtuin function. Oh, what in the world? That's crazy. Can you guys see that screen? The PubMed screen? Okay. Sirtuins, 9,000 studies. When we started LifeVantage, there were about 4 studies on Protandim NRF2, and some of them weren't even calling it NRF2. There were probably less than 50 studies globally on NRF2, and we didn't even know that they were out there. Now there's over 13,000 studies. So that body of evidence is already in place documenting the correlation between sirtuin function and aging and disease. Here's a mind-blowing one. I'll show you this one. NAD, search, you want something fun? Search NAD on PubMed.gov. That search will generate 56,000 hits. That's going to take you some time to go through. I don't recommend that you go through. I recommend you build your business. And if somebody has a diagnostic or therapeutic question, of course, type in NAD and that thing, right? Or oxidative stress and that thing, and get them a hold of some of our doctor videos. We will replay or we'll repost this recording tonight, of course, show you 2 other additional resources that we put on today. Thank you, Jere Whistler and Julie White, for doing such a phenomenal job of creating, procuring and curating that content for this stuff. I'll show you this video. This is our dear friend Amy Dippold out of Cedar Rapids. I think she's in Cedar Rapids, part of Sean and Michelle Poe's group. This is a combination video. She's talking to Melody Rodarte. There she is, our dear friend Melody. And then talking about NAD and some of the detox effects, how to take it, how not to take it. And also the end of that video is some really, really, really practical help on how to leverage or utilize this launch to grow your business, not just activate your NAD, right, and your sirtuin levels. The other one I will show you is a sort of correlative video. Thank you, Jere, for that awesome piece. But Nancy Bryan also just did a corporate video as well that's very prospect friendly. That video has just gone up on the Lifetree Health Network page. So both of those resources, hot off the press, available for you and your folks tonight. And that's all I got. So with that, I will stop my share and turn it back over to the lovely White family. They're in Tioga County, Pennsylvania.
Thank you, Mark. That was great information. This was a very informative Zoom tonight. I want to thank everybody for being on here, and just want to say have a blessed rest of the week, and we love you all and look forward to seeing you next week. So
Bye.
Great job, Jere. Great job, Lena. Thank you so much. We love you guys. Love you, Rhino.
Love you too, man.